The Grant Caldwell reports a Winter Olympics showdown that was supposed to be about precision, discipline, and sportsmanship has now turned into something else entirely. Allegations of cheating, claims of illegal filming, a reported F-word exchange between elite competitors, and rising tension spreading beyond just two teams. At the center of it all, Canada and Sweden. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's confirmed, what's being claimed, and the one detail most coverage is skipping that could determine whether this becomes a minor rules dispute or a full-scale Olympic integrity crisis. Stay with me, because once you see how these pieces connect, the entire situation looks very different. Here's what we know right now. Multiple outlets, including USA Today, the Associated Press, Fox News, and ESPN, report that Canada's curling team has faced accusations related to potential rule violations during Olympic competition. According to reporting, officials reviewed concerns involving what is known in curling as a double-touch situation, a technical violation if a player accidentally makes contact with a moving stone. At the same time, Canada has pushed back, raising concerns about Sweden allegedly filming or observing Canadian practices in a way that may violate Olympic rules. So this is not a one-sided allegation, it's escalating, and what started as a technical rules question has now reportedly spilled into heated exchanges between athletes, including at least one verbal confrontation that has drawn significant media attention. Now pause for a moment, because this isn't just about curling. This is about Olympic credibility. When accusations start flying mid-games, and surveillance, filming, and integrity are questioned, trust becomes the real casualty. Before we go further, if you value fact-based reporting that separates confirmed information from allegations and avoids spin, make sure you subscribe. We follow the facts, especially when emotions are running high. Coming up next, the verified timeline. What officials have actually confirmed, what penalties have or have not been issued, and how Britain unexpectedly became part of this widening controversy. Now that we've separated confirmed rulings from headlines, the next question is whether this is a simple enforcement issue, or something more. The penalty against Canada for the double-touch violation was applied under existing international curling rules. Officials reviewed the incident and ruled accordingly. There has been no official finding of intentional cheating. That's important. In Olympic competition, accidental contact is still a violation, but intent determines the severity of the narrative. Canada, however, argues that competitive integrity cuts both ways. According to reporting from Fox News and other outlets, Canadian representatives have raised concerns that Sweden may have engaged in unauthorized filming or surveillance of practice sessions. Sweden has firmly denied any wrongdoing. As of now, Olympic authorities have not announced formal sanctions tied to those filming allegations. So we are dealing with two competing narratives. One team penalized under rule enforcement, another team accused, but not formally sanctioned, of potential rule-bending behavior. Add to that the broader environment. ESPN reports that Britain was cited in a separate compliance matter as officials increased oversight and monitoring during the Games. That tells us something important. Olympic curling officials are operating in a heightened enforcement mode. This isn't business as usual. It suggests that trust among teams may already have been fragile before this incident escalated. And then came the confrontation. Multiple outlets confirm that tempers flared after the ruling, with at least one profane remark reportedly exchanged on the ice. No official discipline tied to that exchange has been announced, but the optics matter. The Winter Olympics are built on sportsmanship and mutual respect. When disputes turn personal and heated, public perception shifts quickly. Here's what remains unproven. There is no confirmed systemic cheating operation. There is no finding of deliberate sabotage. There is no ruling declaring Olympic corruption. But there is tension. There are allegations. And there is a credibility test unfolding in real time. And when Olympic credibility is questioned, even indirectly, the stakes rise beyond a single match. As this controversy widens, the real question shifts from what happened on the ice to who holds authority, and how that authority is exercised. In Olympic competition, rule enforcement is not handled by the athletes or even by national governing bodies. It rests with international officials operating under the World Curling Federation framework and the International Olympic Committee structure. When a potential infraction occurs, such as a double touch, officials review it, apply the rulebook, and issue a decision. That system only works if athletes and audiences trust it. In this case, officials reviewed the incident involving Canada and applied a penalty. There has been no public indication that the ruling was overturned or reconsidered. That tells us the enforcement mechanism functioned procedurally as designed. But enforcement authority cuts both ways. When Canada raised concerns about potential filming or surveillance by Sweden, the burden shifted to officials to determine whether those claims warranted action. As of now, no confirmed penalty against Sweden has been publicly announced. That creates a perception gap. Whether justified or not, one team penalized, another team accused. No visible symmetry and consequences, at least so far. Now layer in the broader tightening of surveillance oversight during the games, including Britain's cited infraction reported by ESPN. That suggests officials are aware of a larger issue. Competitive intelligence gathering in elite curling may be more aggressive than the public realizes. Here's where accountability becomes critical. If the Olympic governing bodies apply rules unevenly, even unintentionally, credibility erodes. If they fail to investigate legitimate concerns thoroughly, trust declines. If athletes begin policing one another publicly because they lack confidence in oversight, the institution itself weakens. At the same time, it's equally important not to inflate what has occurred. There is no confirmed evidence of coordinated cheating schemes. There is no finding of intentional misconduct tied to the double-touch ruling. There is no official declaration of systemic corruption. What we are seeing is pressure. Pressure on officials to be consistent. Pressure on teams to remain composed under scrutiny. Pressure on the Olympic brand to protect its integrity during live global competition. And in moments like this, institutions are tested not by headlines, but by how clearly and transparently they enforce their own standards. What began as a technical rules review has now become something larger, a test of Olympic credibility under pressure. Here's where this stands, based on confirmed reporting. A double-touch violation involving Canada was reviewed and penalized under international curling rules. There has been no official finding of intentional cheating. Canada has denied deliberate wrongdoing. Canada, in turn, has raised concerns about possible unauthorized filming or surveillance by Sweden. Sweden has denied those allegations. As of the latest public reporting, no confirmed penalty has been announced against Sweden tied to those claims. Britain was also cited in a separate compliance matter as officials increased scrutiny and monitoring during the games, suggesting enforcement is operating in a heightened mode across multiple teams. There have been heated exchanges between competitors. Emotions have clearly flared, but no official ruling has declared corruption, systemic cheating, or coordinated misconduct. So what should viewers watch next? First, transparency from Olympic officials. If additional findings emerge, whether confirming or dismissing the filming concerns, those determinations need to be clearly communicated. Silence creates speculation. Second, consistency. If rules are applied strictly in one instance, they must be applied equally in others. Olympic integrity depends on uniform enforcement. Third, tone. The Winter Olympics represent more than medals. They represent international sportsmanship. When confrontations escalate publicly, governing bodies often step in quietly to de-escalate. Whether that happens here will matter. This story, at this stage, is about rule enforcement and competitive tension, not proven scandal. But perception matters, and once questions about fairness enter the conversation, they rarely disappear quickly. We will continue to follow confirmed updates as they develop. Subscribe for updates. We follow the facts.